Well, it came a torrential downpour. And as you can see, our area around here is flooded like it always does. Water standing everywhere. And I'm wanting to see if my dry well, it's still raining actually, but it's definitely better than it was. I want to see if my dry well that I dug is working, because it just dumped at least a solid, probably an inch and a half on us. Interesting. Well, not good. Where I'm standing is where the dry well is. As you can see, my little channel. Question is, I wonder how fast this will drain off. You can still see it's flooded here, up all the way to that. It's still raining. But hopefully that is allowing it to drain off faster. Just the rain just settled, so and it's still coming down pretty good. You can see my poor plants. Look at that. I mean, that's how much rain it got. It just beat everything down. I mean, look at this. That's the drain line. And it goes up to that gutter. And it's just flowing down through here. And it's still pouring down, so I really need to probably get out of the rain, but it doesn't look like that it did exactly what I wanted it to do, but there is still a possibility that it may allow for that to drain off quickly when the rain actually stops. So for sure what I need to do is this area here needs to be built up with more dirt. You can see my little pile of dirt there. I may just have to do another one. Maybe I need 3 of them down through there. That was a lot of digging. Now the other day it rained, not as much, and it definitely allowed for the drainage. I didn't have any standing water. So I know that it works when there is not a ton of rain. But it's just, I think it's just more, you can actually see bubbles. Bubbles are coming up through there. That's funny. So it looks like maybe I need another one, maybe right there in this area, this graveled area. And maybe even one to the right of the original one. Oh well. We'll see how fast it drains off, because that's the main thing. It's one thing to have water standing, but if it just stays standing for a half a day to a full day, that's what kills off your plants. But if it drains quickly and gets off of that, then I think it'll be fine. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to dig 2 more. Wow, I can hear that thunder. Anyway, I'm signing off. So it's the next morning after we had that torrential rain. last night. It also rained really heavy again this morning, so we've been inundated with multiple inches of rain over the last 12 hours or so. You can see water's standing, and we have puddling. And usually if this area right here floods, because there's a drain line that comes off of this barn roof here, usually if this area floods, it'll stay flooded for, depending on how much and how saturated, it'll stay flooded like that for a day and a half. And I wanted you to notice that all of these areas are flooded. But look, I want you to look. My dry well works. There is no flooding. There is no water at all up around my plants. It worked. Now the water got up to there because last night, right after the whole bottom broke out of this huge big red cell, I came out here. It was still raining, but it had slacked off some. There was so much water coming off of this roof down this downspout that it was collecting here, and I could even see bubbles where this is where the dry well is, underneath this gravel. You can see the little channel there. I could see, because it was covered in water, it was bubbling like there was air from down 3 feet below bubbling up, but there's no water standing, which is exactly what I was hoping would happen. So it is allowing for the drainage quickly. It may pool for a few minutes because there's so much water, that it's not able to suck it all in that quickly. But it definitely, because this would have been flooded for sure had I not done that, because it does it every single time. And we got tons and tons of rain last night and even this morning, and it's still not flooded. So I really feel like it worked. Now the question I have is, if I put another dry well here, so here's the first one. If I put another one here, would that even allow for it to not stand at all? Or would it just naturally going to stand for a little bit anyway? I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'm not, super strong, and I use an old-timey post hoe digger. So if it's not going to do any good, I really don't want to, go to that kind of effort. But I really feel like looking at it today, after all the rain that we've had in the last 12 hours, I feel like it will really help tremendously to keep this area up here from flooding out and killing these plants. These plants have, they've died already because of the water. This little plant here, which cat mint. It was the cat's pajamas. It died. That little bitty brown thing there is a little baby lavender plant. It was flooded and it died. These up here are not doing great because they were underwater a little bit, but as it receded, they could maybe recover a little bit faster, although I did lose this one right here. So all in all, I think that it was successful. I think if a person really wanted to make it better, that while they had the gravel pulled away, go ahead and plan on maybe making a couple of them, because in those times when you have flash flooding, which we had flash flooding last night when we went through town, even it was brown water flowing through the streets. It was too much rain too quickly, so it overwhelmed my dry well. But looking at it today, I think once I get this little hump of dirt here pushed up a little bit and blended with some good compost, and maybe build this area up here, this area right here, just a little bit higher and slope it down, I I think this is going to be significantly drier and better for my plants in the end. So I'm going to call this thing a success. Maybe that's just me trying to be overly optimistic, but I just know what I normally come out here to versus today. And we had a horrible rain last night, and we had another one just a little bit ago, came flooding down. And actually, when I first walked out here, it was still sprinkling. So I think it's worked. So hooray.